one in 2003, and then following in '04, '05, and then one either 2009 or 2010, sometime before Bionicle finally finished Generation 1.
That's super
Nice.
weird.
Yeah, because Bionicle had a reboot, and it was like only lasted like 2 or 3 years because it wasn't that well received, or like Lego was like, this isn't making the bank we thought it would. Where they greatly oversimplified details.
I don't really understand what the target audience for it is. Like,
Like, I guess, like, kind of older kids, like 10 to 13 ish.
I don't know, because I figured, like, Lego is kind of like, you can make whatever you want in a sort of way. Whereas Bionicle is, like, very specifically people who like mechs, I guess?
I mean, or people who like action figures, because, like, what a Bionicle essentially is just action figures.
I suppose that's true, but also at the same time, like, they're not, I mean, they're humanoid, but they're not, like, people. They're, like, machines. So there is, like, kind of a mecha thing there where, like, at the very end of the day, it's still, like, pretty specific about what it is. So it's like it's one of those
Like, it
things. Like
has, like,
I'm surprised it went as far as it did because it does seem like it has a very niche audience.
I'd be surprised.
Apparently, it would be. I don't know. I would not have expected that. I had the streaming button, by the way. Not that anyone's in this stream yet, but
Yeah. I need to get rid of emote only because I was afraid that we would get bombarded by. Wait,
oh right, yeah.
hey, we're live? Oh my god, hold up, hold up, hold up.
Uh,
How do I fix emote only? Oh. Is it in video producer, creator dashboard, settings?
can
Oh,
find
wait,
it.
no, I think it's a thing that you actually put into chat.
Chat filters.
Which emote
Hmm.
only? I just type in
Oh,
slash emote only off.
I'm trying to change settings, and I'm not even actually logged into the actual Twitch account. I'm just streaming to it. Might be.
Now we need to change this to Isabella. We're showing off side K stuff, right?
Yes.
Side K showcase. There we go. And I shall post this to the Craze Twitch.
Yeah, we're still like 10 minutes early. I just figured I'd get booted up early, because why not? Here's talk about Bionicle. Let's see. Get the game booted up.
For the first time, I put in word in the Nick Brawl Discord, and hopefully everybody behaves.
Interesting. I assume like an off-topic chat or something.
Yeah, they have plenty of different chats for that. I'm not just gonna be like people talking about Sponge and his sick combos. Like, they've actually been doing pretty good, like picking up speed on like releasing news about the game, like moveset videos. One drop for SpongeBob. It looks kind of absurd.
Well, I hope people are into that and enjoy it. It is made by the Slap City people, so I imagine it would be. That is right. Like that is the Slap City people.
Audacity.
Yeah, yeah. Because and yeah, the Slap City is like really good. So
Yeah, very much. It's, yeah, I think, yeah, I remember hearing that Nickelodeon did go to Ludosity because of their work on Slap City.
yeah, I mean that would make sense, especially if Well, just because like they have that under their belt, it's kind of like I guess Streets of Rage 4 got made because of Streets of Fury. Otherwise, I don't know why you'd really go to them. But that is.
Especially for well,
Yeah. But you know, yeah, like whenever you've got something similar, then that kind of dictates that you've got a good resume for that sort of thing, you know. Let me know if... Oh, actually, I can see my deets over here, but it looks like we're doing good. Yeah, I'm gonna wait just a little bit, wait to the top of the hour before we start our discussion.
Yeah.
Just got it booted up, just making sure everything's okay.
Okay, streaming may be an issue on Opera, so I'm just gonna view the Twitch one for now.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you for this stream.
I might take the reins on explaining stuff, since you'll be on a delay.
That is perfectly okay.
But how are y'all doing today? How's the chat? While I eat.
Yeah, we took out a few Ikemen standard modes because the game wasn't really like built for that.
I'm not gonna lie, the ratio was like fine. We could have left it in, but at the same time, yeah, we hadn't actually messed with it at all, so I had no idea how balanced it was.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I just know the horrors of Ratio in CVS 2. You just got Ratio 2 Sagat and Ratio 2 Blanca. I'm not saying that you can't see other characters in the CVS 2 meta. It's just usually when you have like really good characters, that's all you see.
Ratio actually works differently in CVS, doesn't it? Like differently than it works in Ikemen, because Ikemen is just like any character can be any number.
I don't know, because I didn't really look into Ikemen ratio mode.
Yeah, because I think in CVS, at the very least, because like I noticed that NPC2 mod where everybody has a set number.
Yeah.
And I think in CVS it's the same way. Everyone has like a set number, whereas Ikemen is just you pick the numbers first, and then you just pick whichever character you want, and they get their stats modified.
I think that was CVS 1 exclusively.
Oh, okay.
Characters were like picked by numbers, while CVS 2 was just like put a number onto a character and then they're like stronger. But like if you have a higher number, you get less characters to work with.
Right.
The MVC ratio thing looks like the game version of like those memes where it's like you have like a set amount of money. These are the things that you can like buy. What do you buy? I'm interested to see that Spiral is like on the top with the other MVC gods.
Yeah,
like what does she have?
I don't know about that one. The rest of it made sense to me. Although apparently Tron is really good. I didn't expect that. It's like my
her assist. It's her assist.
Oh yeah. Oh, is it that one like that normal that just does like stupid damage?
Yes.
Oh my god. Because I was like, my team is like 9 points. I was like, that doesn't work. But
yeah. Do you need the call render to put into the background of the stream?
If you want to, sure. Actually, you can darken it in what do you call it?
OBS.
OBS, yeah.
I don't remember if I darkened the other ones when I was doing the streams.
Yeah, there were always like silhouettes in the back, weren't they? Or I guess no, wait. That was
Not
only on
during
the
the
titles.
stream.
That's right. Okay, that's fair.
Those are also just the thumbnails. I'm like too lazy to make an unsilhouetted version when I'm talking about, hey, there's gonna be a stream soon.
There we go. Okay, I got him.
And then like I just put him in the back, and then like when we did Bernie, I was like, you should probably move Bernie to the side. Oh my god. You should put his wind portrait to the right.
Oh my god. Actually, hold on. It doesn't even fit.
Just make him bigger.
No, he's too big.
Oh.
This is an image.
Look, we kept this thing like a really bad secret. We're gonna fucking double dip on this.
I can't even figure out what to do with this. It's just... Alright. But, it is 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time.
It is 7:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, I mean, it's 6:59, but yeah. Hello. I am...
Welcome to Craze. This is an interesting update because the character, the like major character, already got released, but she's complete. But we have other things to showcase. Calexo is streaming. Thank you, Calexo, for streaming.
Yes. I am Dr. Calexo. I am the coder. I don't know how fun we're going to be with this. I think this is basically just us kind of like, you know, just talking, hanging out, and we're just going to be showing a lot of stuff that's coming, or that is in this update, and it's actually going to be out pretty shortly after this stream is done, because I was already in the process of updating the website. So...
Yes! Because tomorrow, we have a Fraud Crew tournament, the Battle Craze Bi-Weekly, which is tomorrow at 7 EST, and we will have this patch out, so we will see a lot of new, interesting things in that tournament.
Indeed.
Also, we nerfed Boundary, I'm sorry, Graffiti King.
What are you talking about? We buffed him.
I mean, we buffed Boundary, but like...
We nerfed Bernie again, but that's okay, because we always nerf Bernie.
That's fine. Okay, so other major things. Isabella is complete! She has all of her get hits, and all of her moves are done. Her sides are complete.
I'm trying to remember exactly what has changed since then, because a lot of stuff has been going on, but I know one major one is this projectile. Is light heavy now is just a closer one and a farther one. They got nerfed a whole lot because they're really good.
I mean, that actually is perfectly fine because she is like intended to be the sub boss of the game,
and
or the boss of the game.
There was a lot of just balance changes, a lot of just numbers mixed around. So nothing that I can really point out specifically because I didn't keep track of them for the
level 3,
the changelog. But yes, we do have a level 3. I don't think she even had a level 3 before, but yep. And that's I don't know what that means, but yeah, that's just about all that's new with her. But yeah, and Side L hasn't changed a whole lot either. Just the same kind of usual stuff. However, her side K has been completely reworked. And in
Should we explain finally what Side K is properly?
Yeah, I guess we should get into it. So, do you want me to do it, or you want to explain it?
I could do the lore stuff. You could do like where the mode started.
Okay. So what we had basically done is we kind of did this thing as an Easter egg where things that Seidel Ajit had were still in the game before we removed them. Like, he had EX moves. And so if you played Psyche Ajit, you would have seen, like, things that basically he played like Seidel Ajit did before we decided that he was a little too powerful and we nerfed it. But, and then the same thing happened with Psyche Akue, where we changed her Side L, and the old stuff went into Side K. And so it was kind of like this little Easter egg thing. We didn't really talk about it much, and we just kind of kept it on the down low. And over time, we started having more and more fun with the idea of Side K, to the point to where we started actually putting in, like, legitimate effort, almost as much as Side L, for, like, alternate movesets. And
sprites, too.
Yeah, yes. Just the only thing that's not changed is the voice work, but the sprites and the moves, some of them much more than others. And so we kind of just went, you know, we're putting all this effort into it, we might as well make it, like, easier to play and to actually talk about it. And because we actually want them to be, like, viable and balanced as much as we can. So we've just decided from this point on, we're just gonna just talk about them. So
yeah. As for the lore stuff, every Side K character is a artificial clay amalgamation created by Call D Stone, who is the Moai head character that appears in every Side K character's intro. He is a mysterious man working towards the creation of the ultimate life form, and he has worked with many different affiliations in order to reach this goal, only to benefit his own cause. And if you are familiar with how the Side K characters are, sometimes his ideas can get absurd, but yeah.
you're close.
It is
Kahl, but yes, Caldy Stone.
yes.
Oh yes. So that's the thing, we were gonna just kind of go over basically every character and then talk about their changes. And I actually should have mentioned this first. One of the things that we did with this update is we kind of decided that Psyche Ajit was not actually that strong. So Side L Ajit,
Getting a rework.
yes, Psyche Ajit has been removed because he will be remade at a later date. And Side L is now just Side K, but without the low health pool. So he doesn't have Cobra Gatling, but he does have EX moves, and they've been tweaked a little bit. So we'll have that's like a hard knockdown, so you can actually follow that up. So hopefully that'll make Side L a little more interesting, because he's now, like, I guess, more supported. But Sidekick Sagumi, because regular Sagumi hasn't changed pretty much at all. Sidekick Sagumi is, I think she was mostly finished in the last update, but she is now officially finished.
She was missing some new sprites for some new moves that she has.
Yeah, and she has a level 3 now as well.
You want to see Sagumi do a kick?
Do you?
Yes.
It's amazing, isn't it? That hit spark is way too high. But yes, Sidekick Sagumi is a much different Sagumi. She is slower, and she has an entirely new set of specials and supers, aside from Seidel. She has a command normal where she kicks, because we thought of just what would be the weirdest thing that she could do. She would kick. And she has a set of Rekkas. She has 3 special moves that you can be chained into each other. Not to itself, but into each other, just in any order, up to 3 times. So you can start low, mid, overhead, overhead. Oh, oops. Overhead, low, overhead. And you'll probably notice this battery meter at the bottom left. If you use the heavy versions...
I was wondering about that.
Yes, if you use the heavy versions, the move is powered up. And all three of those have this ability, as well as her force special, which we'll get into in a second. This meter goes up whenever you move, basically, as well as use her C-Tech. It doesn't work whenever you're being hit, though, because, oops. So, as long as you're moving around and landing hits, your battery will charge up faster. So, and the buffs are kind of minor. It's like damage and advantage. Like, probably one of the better things to do is to end it with the regular punch. And you're, +3. So you've got a really nice advantage to go in and use, for example, your C-Tech, which is, it looks kind of funny. It's a grab. That gives you a guaranteed battery stock. Yep. Builds up your battery a little bit, and is good for the mix-up. She also has down punch, which is a DP of sorts, a reversal, if you will. It's a very good reversal, but it is only a reversal when it's powered up with the strong punch and the battery pit. If it's not, you can be out of that. Although it is a pretty big hitbox, so it's still pretty good. But
hitbox, relatively quick, pretty active.
And then this one, of course, is just invincible like a DP would be. Yes, and she has a reversal super, which is very high vertically. I'm going to kind of blitz through this because we have a lot of characters to go through. But, she has that, she has the Ranbu as a level 1, and then she has a level 2, which fills up her battery meter and turns her into regular Sagumi in terms of speed. It actually is just straight the same.
If you're familiar with Justice in LSR, where she had a super that just let her get old Justice mobility, this one actually is a benefit. It's not a waste of meter.
When you're doing this as well, all of your specials are powered up and don't cost anything. And of course you have that sort of down period at the end of the install. But you also have access to a new super that doesn't cost meter and instantly ends the install. It doesn't do a whole lot, but you can chain it off of your specials, and you'll bypass that down period. So she's very much just a monster up close, but by being a little slower than Sagumi and not having any real defensive moves aside of her DP, she has a hard time getting in sometimes. Level 3?
She also has a new level 3.
Yes. I have to remember what the command is. I don't remember.
I mean...
It is this. Down 4, 2 punches. Which is pretty standard. It's kind of like Akue's level 3, I'd say, in that it's just a big area of effect. But other than that, not too substantial.
Funny thing is, this, for people that are familiar with Terry, who is actually Dr. Calexo's character, Calexo also has another character in his fighting game project idea called Erica. She's actually on the Coliseum stage, to the right. She was suggested to be a guest character in Battle Craze, but we realized that regular Sagumi kind of filled a lot of those niches, so ideas that Erica had went into Sidekick Sagumi instead.
I actually had to rewrite a move list, and then I just kind of went, hey, I could do this for Sidekick. So, it's a very roundabout way. She ended up getting into the game, so... Sidekick Sherm.
Here we have... Sidekick Sherm is funny because he's actually really good.
He's... I would say all the Sherms are good, but he kind of stands out by being just slightly above the rest, potentially, because of the way he plays out. So, his whole thing is he's, the way I like to describe it, he's like crossover Ryu, where like kind of just other Ryu things that just kind of pop up in crossover games we'll get onto Sherm here. And just a few
air
options.
fireball, air DP.
Oh yes, air DP, air Tatsu, and he uses regular fireball motions or regular like Shoto motions. So he plays kind of like a typical Shoto clone, although he's still pretty unusual. His C-Tech, which you might have seen me using, yes, he has focus attack. He can cancel that early with the dash, cancel it on the hit with the dash, and he has one hit of armor. And it causes a good old stun if you do it, and a guard break if you try to block it. So it's pretty nasty. He also has a funny donkey kick. I don't know what this one's actually called. Everyone calls it donkey kick.
I was gonna animate it like it is in Street Fighter V, but I couldn't bring myself to drop the chance of actually animating one of the greatest Street Fighter 3 moves.
Yeah. It is also a low crush. We started introducing more of those in the game around the time we did Sidekick Sherm, because this one's been in for a few updates now. He also has a completely new set of supers outside of his level 3, actually. He has... I should probably move this, but... And yes, the command lists are all read now to include the new moves and stuff, so they are fully supported now.
Engine up joke!
And then of course, another thing that's funny about Ryu is what's Shin Tatsu or whatever?
It's, Shingu Tatsubiku.
Well, with a little bit of Sherm's flair in as well. There's, of course, a couple of unique things here, like this level 2. If you are crazy enough to get over him, I don't know if I can do it, but if you...
It's a super that hits both ways.
Yeah, you can hit by that fireball. So, if you do something crazy, you can manage to get hit by that. Not that it's worth it, but, you know, it's there because it's there. And then he still has Shin Ryuken. But yeah, he's still Sherm at the end of the day, so he's still quite interesting. The way his buttons work. Oh, and he gets this because we thought it'd be funny. That's his far strong kick.
People at Battle Craze really be like, we need a new move for this character. What if we take a sweep? What if we flip it on its side?
So, Psyche Wallace was introduced in the last update? The last major update, I believe? With,
Yes, I believe.
Was it with Jane or was it with Bernie?
Bernie, then Jane. I think it was with Jane.
Either way, you may be familiar...
got reworked.
Yeah, you may be familiar with this one. You're not familiar with it anymore because we decided that was bad, and we reworked him a little bit. He still has some of Wallace's typical moves, but he doesn't have armor on any of them. That seems like a problem, right? Oh, he's gonna grab back as well. That seems unfortunate. But, he does have some armor moves. He has forward C-Tech, which... I don't know. Alright. He still, his guard meter still goes up whenever he armor stuff. He also has neutral C-Tech. Seems also build up his guard meter. Seems like a mistake.
I wonder if that's important in any significant way.
He can no longer be guard
call
broken.
you crazy kooky molai.
He can no longer be guard broken during his armor states, but his armor states are just defensive. So, however, if you're time it right, you could probably punish somebody and maybe even get a dire counter off of it. But if your guard meter's blinking red, then you know what? It doesn't matter. You get juggle states anyway.
So wise Linkin Park once said it doesn't even matter.
His damage is increased by how full his guard meter is, and when it's in the red, any dire effects will automatically happen. So it is it's pretty nuts.
He's essentially a character that, after he struggles with like defense or goes ham with like building up his guard meter on purpose, he's a very offensive character, but he has to be very careful about blocking.
Yeah, but it's funny how I would say that this Wallace is extremely good. It's like
Just hard.
It's maybe bias on my part because, you know, as a dev, but from my experience, he seems extremely good and potentially better than the other Wallaces, but not in a way that feels unfair, because he does have that thing where he gets at his best when he can't block anymore. And he has interesting tools, because one of the new things he has is the Night Flyer. I believe that's the name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it in German.
Like me pronouncing French words. I really wish we had Sean on here. So, Psyche Wallace has Mega Fist, but with his feet.
He has Mega Feet. I promise we don't make references all the time like this, but sometimes it just happens this way.
I wonder why people say that we're like skullgirls.
But yes, he can use this in 4 different directions. It is a low crush on startup, so you can't sweep him out of it. He also can't be thrown out of it, at the very least ground thrown. And -3 on that, and all the way back it's like +1, I believe? It's kind of hard to do unless you're in a corner, so... And you also have to block it. So yeah, he's interesting, because he has to play offensively more carefully, but he has better rewards for it, because he's Wallace, and he still has, you know, some of the craziest stuff in the game. And then he has the Side L supers, aside from this being a combo extender.
Oh yeah, one of the things that we have in this is actually been nicknamed the Throw Update, because we made a lot of changes to throws.
Indeed we did. This is probably a good example to start on. Most throws in the game, including super throws, you can chain into them.
Because why not?
Pretty much. Yeah, Psyche is so crazy. And then, of course, he has a new level 3, because why not?
I got inspired by TMNT Cross Justice League.
It's true. And,
that game is also really good. Go check it out.
If you want to know why Wallace Sidekick is so good, it's probably a lot to do with this, because he has the strongest level 3 confirm in the game. Just hit that from anywhere on screen. Which is, I think, by design. He is a lot harder to play than the other Wallaces, but he has, I'd say, better payout. So, very much a risk-reward sort of switch for that guy. Psyche Reaper was introduced a little while back.
Psyche Reaper, also known as the spiritual successor to Kelvin from Killer Instinct.
Rushdown Reaper, as we call him. So, they are indeed a very different breed of Reaper, because they do not have... Well, they have a projectile, but not much of one. More of a setup sort of thing. So all of their specials are replaced except for this, which is no longer invincible. You no longer have a reliable DP. And this, which is always powered up. But you have a tractor beam that pulls people in. Can be comboed off of. And this short-range little projectile, which is either delayed or instant.
if you love Melia Rage, you will probably like this character.
If you like Marvel, you'll probably like this character too, because their C-Tech is just, I could fly.
Hooey!
And since this will be cancelled into out of any normal, you can do some pretty nuts stuff with it. Of course, I'm going to probably bundle it up here live, but
You've definitely seen people do crazy stuff with Psyche Reaper, so mission accomplished.
it's yeah, they're pretty crazy. They have solar flare basically. They still chain emergency nova, and then you might have seen this level 2 before, but it has been updated.
It is now 100% complete.
And still has Reaper's level 3 because it actually works really nicely for them.
I deliberately left that in the side K notes because I was like, yeah, this is actually perfectly fine for Rushdown Reaper.
So, and also their throw. Same throw, but you can combo after this one. Does less damage, of course, but it is quite a different Reaper, but it is also a very fun one and a very scary one. Don't know if we have anything else to say about that one. So, Justicia does not have a side K yet.
In development.
What she does have is a lot of changes, mostly inside L.
Let's go over those because we might as well.
Indeed. So, I have to try and remember what they are. This is back. Forward C-Tech, I believe that's new. Unless I'm crazy. Yes. Of course, the throw update affects her quite a bit. So you can chain into her good stuff. You also have what I like to point out is one of the nastier little tricks that she has now, which is chaining into her run-in grab. Which, if you're crafty, you can do some mean things like that. Keep people grounded and then run up and grab them. I feel like the chair changed a bit more than I remember, but... Oh, yeah, we actually did nerf a little bit of this move because it was actually a little strong, because it was doing things it wasn't, in that it was hitting people on the way up. And it can't do that anymore, but... It's got a little bit, a little tighter. It's got the overhead version now. And she gets a few things to compensate, like being able to chain out of that if you're not bad like me. I think that's actually because I hit the chair. Yeah, there we go. Actually, the better one I should try out is this. They are truly insane. And of course, Side C can do these throw chains as well. So she's looking a bit different, mostly because being able to chain into your throws actually changes up your tactics a fair bit. Oh, another thing, actually, before I forget. That is one super that you can chain into is Justicia's level 3 and Wallace's level 3 from Side C and Side L, his grab one. That's not a thing, but I mean, I think that move has gotten buffed a lot where it actually is like invincible and stuff. So it's actually a lot better as like a reversal, but she's still alright though, because, you know, her level 1 hits pretty hard. Another interesting thing that we did is staggers and crumples. You could just throw people out of them now with any character.
Yeah.
It's particularly funny with Justicia, because you could do stuff like that.
But she has multiple throws. Multiple normal throws. Now here's the question. If you grab somebody with a normal throw when they're staggered, can they tech out?
Oh no, of course not. That'd be silly.
Would be silly.
Another thing I probably should have mentioned a long time ago is something else that I changed to every single throw is this. You can chain after an air throw if it is the first hit in a combo. So if you air throw in neutral, you get a combo. Every character can do this. So, hopefully encourage using air throws a little more because they're a little niche right now, but that should hopefully find a place in somebody's repertoire. I do believe that's about it for Eustacia.
Yes. Then there's Boundary, who has a lot of changes.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Adjustments, side K.
I should probably go into this. Yeah, Boundary got changed across the board because he has been in a weird spot the last few updates, and I do apologize that he has been fluctuating so much, but he's also going to get some pretty big changes in this one, so bear with us as we try to figure out the best way to implement this guy. But yeah, so we did a lot of reworking for damage dampening, so hopefully his combo should feel a lot better again. Yes, he gets that again as well. But yeah, you can see that he's got a few of his tricks back. He did lose something, and that is
Sink under. Turn to the earth.
yeah, he doesn't have his old level 2. He has Seidel's level 2.
Yeah, because we thought that the fact that he already has like a free combo extension with vertical swing, why should he have the extra inside C when we could just swap the level 2s between sides and have that as the trade-off? So side L technically has the buff of extending combos with the level 2 now.
Indeed. But oh, I should have shown it off. But the portal super that side C now has, you can get people out of the air with that, so you can actually end combos with it. So that's nice. But yes, side L now has.
Here's something new.
Stuff from the heroes that is. What's the name of the move? Soulless Journey. Soulless Journey EX.
Yes.
And yes, as you probably saw, side C has the portals back whenever he does the level 3 Craze cancel. So they both basically what we did was both side C and side L have an equal number of combo extensions as opposed to it being kind of heavy on side C's favor. Yeah. Another change is Area Field.
Area field.
Does a couple neat things now. It has an air variant, and you can hold it.
Field.
And you'll probably hear this a lot. We decided, why not?
Area field.
So this should make this move a little more interesting and hopefully make side L a little more unique.
Distort.
And as well as, since his numbers are looking more normal, he should feel like a playable character again and not somebody who does no damage. Because, again, I apologize, we did a lot of stuff with him. But I think he's in a really good place right now. And another interesting thing about Boundary is Side K, which I think is new. I don't think this was in the last update.
Part of me wants to say he was partially in it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But yes.
Side K Boundary is essentially, what if Boundary didn't have portals? Which was a concept that I pitched, and then Calexo took it further with, what if Boundary were Shulk?
Yes, pretty much. Which is funny because it wasn't inspired by Shulk, but it did basically turn out that way. Side K Boundary has a C-Tech that changes his stance. And these things...
Well, I wouldn't 100% call it like a stance, but like a buffed mode.
True, yes. I call it stances as a... Yep. There's a different modes he enters, and they change up his stats. So, and you could tell which you get by the direction you press. It's a little confusing for left and right because it's assuming facing right, but forward is a damage stance. You get more damage, but you also have more defense. It'll become more apparent later. Backwards is green, that's a defensive stance. You move slowly, but you have slightly increased defense. It's actually very little, but what it actually does give you is better regeneration. You regenerate purple health faster, and every hit you land regenerates 1 purple health, which adds up. Blue is if you don't press any direction, or if you hold up, is speed. You move faster. But,
Wait!
your advantage is a lot worse. So, not ideal for combos, but ideal for moving around. And then the last one is control. It's a little... And they're actually named after Egyptian gods, but I like to go with these very simple names. This one gives you...
I think it's easier for people to learn.
Yeah, yellow, or the basic stat that it gives you. This one was kind of hard to define, but it gives you more advantage, and things that knock up higher. So, it seems pretty simple so far. Yeah, he's not necessarily a stance character. He's more of, like just a self-buff character. Because you have to basically constantly change your buff depending on the situation. You'll probably see that there's a little bit of the grid down there kind of turns a little bit red and then builds up. You have a cooldown period on when you can change your stance, but it's pretty short. Unless, of course, you cancel it. And you can do this off of anything that isn't an all-out attack. So... if you Craze cancel, as you can see, you get all 4 of the buffs without any of the nerfs. But you can't stand change anymore, which is kind of a big deal for this guy. Another interesting thing that he gets is every side has its own special move. He has... This is one of his own moves. Not too much to write home about, it's just kind of there to be there. But, of course, you can still dance change out of it.
Shoulder throw!
The big bad special move of Psyche Boundary is he can dive kick, and he could just go in any direction he wants.
Eight-way dive kick.
Of course, this is probably the highest execution character we have, so you could do some crazy stuff with it, and I'm not showing it off like half as well as it could be. But you could do some interesting cancels, and you're always switching modes to kind of change up what you're doing, and depending on the situation of the fight. And it also changes some of your special moves, so that your opponent has to adjust as well. Let me actually get into those moves now. If you're in attack mode, you get a command grab, which of course can be comboed into and cancel out of.
Super Zuna drop.
In speed, you can teleport to the top left or top right corner of the screen. I believe light kick always teleports you backwards, and strong kick always teleports you forwards. Yep.
Beware.
Too late.
Too late. Surprise!
This one just gives you area field. Not gonna lie to you, it's just area field. Which is neat, because...
Heal you if a projectile hits the barrier.
Was that...
Doesn't it heal you a little bit if a projectile hits the barrier while it's active?
No, I should have thought of that. But, you know, any hit you get with the green side is going to heal you anyway, so... It also resets your regeneration. If you're not regenerating and you land a hit, it starts your regeneration, so... It's very much the stance to go to for whenever you've got a lot of purple health stocked up. And this one is pretty interesting, actually. You've got a bit of a delayed projectile.
Yeehaw!
Indeed. And then, since he doesn't use portals, aside from this because I was lazy, he has new supers. This one's pretty similar to Baxter's. He jumps up and has a reversal super that he moves in the air. And then...
Solo rider kick.
Indeed. He does maintain. And then level 2 is pretty interesting. Just a homing dropkick from the sky. It can be really nasty if you catch your opponent out doing something. But the main attraction of Sidek's meter usage is probably this. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot until you put a stance on. This buffs everything that the stance does by a pretty substantial amount, including the downsides. So you're going to take a lot of damage if you buff your attack, but you're also going to take a lot less damage if you buff your defense. You move really fast if you buff your speed. And of course you could switch your stances in the middle of this as well. And I believe this one just makes you launch really high. Yeah. This actually allows for some loops. They're pretty tight. But, and you might notice it says level 1 at the bottom. It's because, you know, you want to do more. Yep. You can stack those, and it resets your timer as well. So, but you can see that it adds up, as well as extends combos in a very interesting way. So, and of course you can do this with the ultimate stance, so that you have all 4 buffs, but the buffs that you have determines how fast the timer ticks down, as well as what level it is. It's a very intense character, I'd say. It does a lot of cool stuff.
Character that focuses on a lot of micromanagement.
Indeed. So, a character that I think is very rewarding, but very high execution. And hopefully other people find him as so.
AKA Graffiti King.
Baxter has a couple of changes. Actually, a pretty big one.
Oh yeah. Get to see this for the first time.
This is, I'm not gonna lie to you. This got implemented last night. It hasn't been tested much, but it's pretty simple. So, well, and this isn't our, we're still doing updates for the Eichmann version, so you'll, if there's any problems, do let us know, and we'll be sure to address them. But, he now has an air C-Tech. He can do a bit of a drop-down attack, which is an overhead. Can be used to cross up. And if you hold down the C-Tech, much like his other specials, he goes right into burn roller. So, I think this was birthed mostly from the idea that if you ever do this, you're kind of just stuck in the air, and with your slow fall speed, you don't really have much to do. Now you can just be like, I'm coming down.
Yeah, given that one downside to Baxter was his slow falling speed, so having like a sudden way to fly back down is gonna be pretty big for him.
Indeed. It also works in combos, as you can see. Although this one works pretty good too. But you know, if it works, it works. And it's also worth noting that we did a lot to floor splats. Those, which is what I call those little mini bounces that you get whenever you knock someone down like that. So a lot of them are a lot more personalized, and mostly any situation where an opponent was like knocked straight down probably is a floor splat now. Mostly because because it extends combos. It's just an interesting way to even if it doesn't, it allows you to like Craze cancel, which I should be able to do out of this, but I can't. Whoops. It's a good time to address that before release. But yeah, like, I think, for example, the best example is Ajit's DP follow-up, where it does have a small floor splat, which gives him more Oki, and you can Craze cancel to extend the combo, but otherwise doesn't really do anything, so it's more like a quality of life change. what I should have showed off is what both Side C and Side L got. And that is, he can cancel into his C-Tech in both sides from throws. Just a little bit of a quality of life for him. He also got some better numbers on a couple of his buttons. This one's much faster. This one's a frame faster. And this one hits at a farther range, or like you don't have to be as close. Because before it was pretty much a throw. But it is also a link. So that's a really good button, and I'm hopefully you can find some good uses for that, because you can just kind of jump in, close kick, keep going. So I don't think CC got any significant changes.
Should do like a tiny brief on Side K.
Yes. Side K is pretty close to Side L. The main differences are that he has this as a C-Tech, which is, it's kind of hard to explain without just me showing you, but he could just cancel that at anything. So that's pretty much where that goes. You'll probably notice his health goes down whenever he drops or uses any special. And that's because, well, all of his moves require his health. But it's on purple health, and if you grab Puddle, you heal back. He also gets a damage bonus depending on how much health he is missing. So he can be a really nasty character, but he also has to play a lot with his own health, because if he's not careful, he could end up losing a lot of it, and then not having...
will die.
Yeah. You know, health is kind of important. You need to not die in order to live.
Could you imagine a Battle Craze character whose gimmick is that once their life goes to 0, they just keep playing?
Yeah, Gil.
It's like, the announcer says down, and then the opponent gets back up, and they have, like, as much time as the opponent's win pose to try and get them down to 0.
That's White in Fatal Fury, isn't it?
White gets up, and then he just fucking shoots your legs.
But yes, he has pretty much the Side L move list, but they affect his health rather than the moisture gauge. And pretty hard to show off here, but that'll heal all of his purple health if it's not using a combo, which he can outdo. But that'll heal off like 10% of his missing health. So, still pretty good, but... Oh, he also has a new move in this. Because why not, really? And that's about it for him. Psyche Isabella got reworked. And it may or may not be for similar reasons to Psyche Wallace. But the follow-up attacks from Side L are now her normal special moves. This is a restand that also stuns if you do the heavy version, but it's very slow on startup. A command grab with a heavy version where she jumps forward. And, well, this one's pretty interesting. This looks like just a dash, but she'll never go in behind the opponent. But she will counter if they attack her. And I do believe... Yes! She will parry a projectile, too.
Marco Rodriguez says hello.
But you can block it if you do something quick. So that could be a problem for her if she doesn't anticipate that. And then she has the old projectile as her down forward.
Given that she doesn't have standard chains in this mode, it was a fair trade-off.
She has standard chains now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Heck.
Yes, so we, kind of reworked Sidekick Isabella because the whole no chains for extra damage thing wasn't fun to play. But
yeah, I could get that.
she does have increased counter hit damage. Her dagger counters are pretty good too. Not as much as it was before, but she has more of a moveset now, so it kind of compensates for that. She does have this cool new level 1. Oh, also this is no longer a counter super, but just kind of a typical reversal, in that it is invincible.
You can just do it!
Yep. You can just do it, and it is invincible and fairly fast. So, and also has a really nice hitbox. Another interesting thing about this, that's for level 2 as well. If you do the input again, you'll get a level 2. So if you want to just confirm that damage, there you go.
You gave it your best shot. Bye-bye. What Bear says when he does his level 1, which is kind of similar to this.
If I remember correctly, I don't think she had her throws in the last version.
Yeah, right. Sage version had her throws just being Akue's.
Yep. She gets a, similar to Psyche Reaper, actually. Doesn't do damage, but actually does a little damage. Forgot about that. But she just gets to, chain off of it. And then air throw is kind of typical. Again, because the air throw chain, she can follow up on that. So, she's just a different Isabella, but still a pretty fun one. And Isabella is insanely strong, in my opinion, because of her interesting buttons. So, yes, of course, why did I forget? Her C-Tech didn't change, in that she has all of these interesting sort of dodge mechanics, which is, avoids lows, low profile. This is also special cancelable at any point, the backwards roll. And then, if you don't have full gauge and you use the C-Tech, she'll do a pose and it converts her purple health into gauge. But if it's full, she gets a rage explosion, or I mean rage burst. And what this does is it is a
heated Isabella moment.
Indeed. This increases her damage permanently for the rest of the match. Or the rest of the round, I should say. But she doesn't get a gauge anymore. And it's also just a really effective reversal. Like, nothing can beat it. You get your opponent off of you. So, that could be very important, especially because of how much Isabella likes neutral. So, pretty interesting tool, I would say. Akue didn't change much at all? What?
Keep it clean.
Got Sidekick.
You might as well showcase the Sidekick stuff.
This might be... I don't think this is a new, but this was, like, another thing we silently introduced in the last update, which is that Psyche Akue now has something else going for her. So she mostly plays like normal Akue. She has specials, but she doesn't have any sort of EX moves. Normally. What she does have is the Untitled Charge, which just builds up her gauge. And if she uses the C-Tech while she's got her full gauge, she enters a mode. The Dungeon Install, I believe. And when you're installed, all of your specials are the other side's EX specials.
Like, light version specials are now the side C EXs. Heavy, strong specials are the side L EX versions.
Indeed.
Is quite bonkers.
Pretty nuts. So
Remember that the original install mode was just more hit stun thing?
and more damage. But yeah, it was not very notable. This is kind of my idea for the original Side L, but it wasn't implemented due to the fact that the EX moves were not really suitable for that before. But now that she has 6 different moves to pick from, it makes her a lot more interesting. So, this was probably infamously the worst character in the game before. I think she's pretty good right now, but very gimmicky. So, if you want something very silly but very rewarding, Psyche Reaper. Here is an actual character change.
Looks like another fight.
I say that like Psyche characters aren't characters, even though we've officially announced that they are. But Seidel Terry got a bit of a rework herself, because it was a little on the bland side, and now it's a little on the great side. So, first off, we'll just note things that changed that you may be familiar with. Her dashes are a lot worse, because they were a little mean, but that was pretty much the only thing that this side had going for her. This one is a little slower if you cross up with somebody. However, it's been bug fixed a bit, so it doesn't behave so strangely in corners. And you can also hold back, and you won't teleport through the opponent, so you can keep that mix ambiguous. But she does get something to compensate, and that is she ever lands a throw, special throw, or all-out throw. She gets these little feral stacks, and these are interesting because if you want to add a little something to the end of any of your specials that aren't throw, you get a little bit of a follow-up. Each special has its own follow-up that you can activate with the C-Tech if you have one of these stacks available. And it can do various things. Restand for that one. This one gives you some corner carry as well as wall splat, which can be comboed off of. So, very, very interesting stuff. She has a damage follow-up on a press claw. Of course, shut it off perfectly, but you can use that follow-up at any point in any of those. Oops. And of course, it has a little bit of stagger pressure potential as well, since you can delay it. And the last one is her C-Tech. Not an attack, but it does automatically switch your positions. So you can keep people guessing. And that's about all I gotta say about that. However, this is also a very big update for her because she can chain into these throws. So she's been balanced out a fair bit, but only to compensate for the fact that she got some pretty cool new tools. So hopefully people will like Seidel. I actually think she's maybe even better than Side C now. But that is what that is. So, her Side K is introduced a couple updates ago.
Side K is also an interesting beast.
Indeed. The feral stacks actually come from this. Every time she lands an attack with a claw move, including her follow-ups from this, gets her 2. She builds a stack. And also, it's strangely, she can also get like half a stack from landing blocked moves, but it doesn't really do anything, it just kind of helps you progress. So what these do is they power up a couple of her specials. She still has this, and all pretty much functions exactly the same. But if you have 10 stacks and you land this one, free combo extension. She has... A press call is no longer an overhead, but if you have 2 stacks, shoots out this slow-moving projectile. And if you press forward and kick during that, you teleport out, but only if you've got a projectile. She retains this, and she doesn't have any special throws. She does have this move where she dashes in and gives them a little headbutt. This cashes out all of your stacks, and if you've got... and it turns into damage. If you've got 10 stacks, does a pretty hefty amount, I'd say. This might be it for the specials. She does have a couple of unique things. Her C-Tech might seem a little strange. It is an intentionally very hard to use counter. The window for it is very small, but the reward is really big damage and working on supers. So it also gets her like 5 feral stacks, I do believe. Yep. So very hard to use, but very rewarding, and as well as being very cancellable. Pretty nuts. She also has a reverse super, a run and grab super, and then new in this update is the level 3 functions more like a regular level 3, and it's just kind of a quick reversal. It's no longer unblockable, but you can use it to beat out a lot of attacks.
And then combos with in style.
Yes, you can also combo into it now. At the very least, not without doing something really funny.
Haha, funny.
Bernie,
Bernie got nerfed, and he does not have a side K yet.
Bernie doesn't have a side K. He got changes. Probably the biggest thing that he got was a voice.
Come on already.
And,
voiced by Daleth?
Yes. Yeah, we haven't run into any other new voices yet. But, we also have...
Batter up.
Lee.
Easy peasy.
Was voiced by Kuyabu.
Yep. He got... we say nerf. He honestly got pretty lucky in this one.
Oh boy.
The only nerf is
What?
something that makes sense. His
What?
command throw was just
Oh boy.
way too safe on
Oh
whiff
boy.
because it was super
Oh
fast to
boy.
recover. And now it's like 12 frames slower because
Oh boy.
it's like it kind of matches Justicia's now,
What?
which I think is a sensible change. But on the flip side,
Excuse me.
you can combo out of it now.
My turn. 1, 2, lights out.
So he's, I think, doing alright.
Good combo into flip it my way, but it has like a different result after you chuck them. You can still continue after it, but it's not like you're still standing, because that would be absurd.
Indeed. So, it also does
My
damage
turn.
when you do that.
My turn.
Just because, why not? There wouldn't be much point to using it otherwise. So,
Excuse me. Right.
so yeah. These changes also carried over to
What?
his dash and grab.
What?
Just the recovery. Everything else is pretty much the same. And yeah, this also had very low recovery for some strange reason. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry. But, yeah, basically he has to be a little more careful. He gets more punished for his mistakes rather than getting out kind of scot-free.
Oh boy.
So, other than that, not really big changes. I think a couple of his normals got some numbers kind of tweaked just a little bit, but he's still pretty strong, I'd say, and he gets kind of a buff in place of some of that. So, you know, that's alright.
Now you're in my range. But first, let me get changed.
Yes, so another amazing buff is Jane got a voice, and then that's about it. Who's she voiced by?
She is voiced by... Hold on. Oh god. Oh.
I believe that's... Was that her credit? I know her real name. I don't know if that was a credited name.
gonna look in the voice lines, Doc.
Yes, Rachel Rial.
Yes, Rachel Rial! Rachel Rial, let's go!
Rachel Rial did a fantastic job.
A little fire. Singe the skin. Swat.
Sorry, I figured Janice knew.
Sorry, I had a galactic-sized brain fart.
But yeah, aside from her voice, which was implemented last night, another thing that just kind of got thrown in, hasn't actually changed at all. We're a little... Oh yeah, so what we do have planned is the next Seidel update. Or, sorry, the next update will have a big update for Seidel because it is also a little underperforming, we feel. So, I don't think it's going to change any, like, there's no new moves. Actually, there will be one new move. But, the big thing is that she will have better usage, like, better buffs for managing her heat levels. So, that is in the works. But, that is not in this update, sadly. What is in this update is this thing that was introduced in the Jane Bane update, because we just developed a side case with the characters now. And that is Side K, Jane Bane, who will be the last character we'll be looking at tonight. She is, haha funny ice powers. In reference...
He has funny, haha ice powers in reference to the fact that her twin sister is just ice while she's fire.
Indeed. So...
I think I actually got that idea because Susie asked if it were possible to have, like, Seidel be, like, Gloom, but given the fact that that would be, like, a lot of sprite edits, like, more than Sherm, we kind of said no to that idea. But I proposed it for Side K because, like, you know...
Yeah, this is basically where we go to experiment with crazy stuff. Even though I would maybe argue that Seidel Jane is the weirder version, but Side K is very interesting. She has a lot of new effects, and she has a different version of the heat mechanic from Side C, in that whenever you attack with these ice powers, it cools the opponent down, and when they get cold enough, they freeze over.
I was frozen today!
Thank you. Some main differences are it takes longer to build up the ice, but, like, for example, this move actually causes freeze as opposed to in Side C. It does not cause burn. Well, it causes burn damage, it doesn't cause the heat meter to go up. You know what I mean. So freezing is interesting in that it stops your purple health from regenerating, while also putting you in that frozen state. However, if you block the attack, you just get the purple health freezing, but you don't get frozen. So, and you can see the purple kind of shimmering there, you know, training will regenerate it, but yeah, if you can basically keep someone locked down from regenerating their health if you keep up your approach, as well as these things are doubly effective on blocked opponents, so you can, yeah. But you ideally want to get the actual frozen effect, because frozen dire counters are extremely good.
Because it's essentially just a funny little restand, and then they're just frozen there. They can't do anything about it.
Yep, it is a restand, and it lasts quite a while. So, another interesting thing about her is that her fireballs move a lot slower, which you would almost think is a bad thing. It is an incredibly good thing, because it controls a certain portion of the screen for a long time. So it is quite a challenge. There's also some technical stuff, and I think this is low profile, whereas Side C it's a low crush. So that's fun. Her C-Tech, kind of similar to Psyche Wallace, come to think of it, but instead of it building up her guard meter whenever she blocks stuff, it reduces her ice gauge, as long as the attack is like not a projectile, although she can't block those. So that helps cool down the opponent and gets them set up to be frozen. kind of let it go whenever you want.
It's not a nice character if you don't make a reference to Disney's Frozen.
I don't know about that, but okay.
You said let it go, and that is copyrighted by Disney, just like how they copyrighted the Day of the Dead.
Indeed. She doesn't have too much else interesting to note other than her new level 2. Because each one has a unique level 2, basically. It seems a little underwhelming, but
Physical disaster.
you can chain out of it, and you can combo while it's going on, so you can, another thing that you can just kind of lock your opponent down. Very interesting, side for sure. And, I do believe, aside from some miscellaneous stuff that's coming, that will be everything of note in this update, which was quite a lot.
It is very much a lot. A lot of the stuff was like previously put into the game, like Sidekick Sagumi and stuff, but we just wanted to showcase those characters off proper, since, you know, we put a lot of time into like making those characters.
Indeed. And I did want people to actually enjoy them, so you no longer need a code to select them, although that was in the last update. And, yeah, we are officially supporting them, and we are going to introduce the last 4 Sidekick characters in the next update.
Yep. And during this period, we're also going to be having a focus on the next engine that we'll be migrating our work onto, Game Maker.
Indeed.
So, if there seems to be like a little bit of a lull in new character development, that is why, because having the game working outside of Ikemen, as excellent as Ikemen is, it still has stuff about it that we don't like, plus we can like truly achieve our vision in Game Maker. You're still gonna have the bi-weeklies. One is happening tomorrow with this new patch, so...
Yep.
And we're still gonna have this update that'll quote-unquote finalize the roster for Ikemen, so still like something you could play on in the meantime. But
Indeed.
given that we got this far, I do think we should offer our gratitude towards the community that we built, the amount of people that just came on to work on for the project, are excellent voice talent.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
It's just, I never really thought that this game would like get this far. Like, I honestly had doubts when I just proposed the idea of doing it after I gave up on that webcomic, and it's just like, look at where we're at now. It's like,
it's incredible. Like, I think a lot of us kind of went into this knowing that it could just be another one of those things that would just, people just lose interest, and then we just don't work on it anymore, and it just kind of fades away. And then this is looking, at the very least for the Ikemen version, we're fast approaching a completed Mugen full game. And that's, and with, if you count all the sides, which I like to do, that's, let me do the math again, 42 characters?
Bowser.
That's a lot. Even just the 14 would just fully spread it out, complete new movesets, unique, and just, it's, and having my own character in it, it is amazing. It is, and
It's a very beautiful thing, honestly.
I thank everyone who's played this game, everyone who's given us feedback, and everyone who's helped to make it. And we have a lot more to do, but part of the
Still have a
battle
lot
crazy.
more to do, but honestly, it will pay off in the end. Because hopefully we could get a lot of new cool features in. We could get modes properly in. We could get online properly in.
That's the big one, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, this update will be coming to you soon. And another reminder that we have the bi-weekly tomorrow hosted by Retro Action Squad at 7 p.m. EST. So you can join up and participate in that, or you can just watch and see the fun go by, aka T is gonna school us with Sidekick Wallace.
Well, this time he's gonna school us with the cool Psyche Wallace, not the dumb one.
At least there will be that.
But yes, thank you all for everything, and expect more soon.
You know, keep on crazing, everybody. I usually don't say that, but
What's our tagline? Just
keep it clean and break.